You're watching the Piedmont News Channel.
May God have mercy on your soul.
Happening tonight, reaction to the latest Piedmont death sentence.
What do these teenagers have in common with one of the Piedmont's highway nightmares?
And look closely, you're about to see one of the wonders of nature.
I'm trying to protect her right now, so we'll probably put a sign out as please don't touch the spider.
Now, the Piedmont's Emmy Award-winning 11 at 11. An 11-minute look at tonight's top stories and your first forecast. This is the Piedmont Tonight.
Happening tonight, a Piedmont man is on his way to death row for a brutal killing. Good evening, I'm Cynthia Smoot.
And I'm Neil McNeil. The same Forsyth County jury that found Carl Mosley guilty of murder has decided to make him pay the ultimate price. Clay Johnson has the dramatic climax to a horrifying murder case.
On the 4th day of December, 1992, sheriff calls the said prisoner, Carl Stephen Mosley, to be put to death as by law provided. May God have mercy on your soul.
It was Mosley's lack of mercy that may have sealed his fate. In his argument during today's sentencing hearing, prosecutor Eric Saunders said Mosley showed Deborah Henley no mercy. Saunders described how Mosley killed her and dumped her body in a cornfield like a sack of potatoes. He told the jury the death sentence was the only way to make sure Mosley didn't do it again. In arguing for a life sentence, Mosley's attorney Richard Ramsey said vengeance against his client would not bring Henley back. He said Mosley's life had value, at least to his family. Ramsey brought them to the stand to prove it.
And we've tried to raise him the best we could, and we don't approve of what he does wrong, but I can't imagine him doing something like this.
But the jury took just a little more than half an hour to decide Mosley should be put to death. Henley's family members, who've had to sit in court for more than 2 weeks reliving their tragedy, were not surprised by the sentence or the swiftness of the decision.
It's been tough, you know, for the whole family, but justice has been served, and we're all real pleased. And, you know, life will never be the same, but life goes on.
For Henley's mother, so does her daughter's memory.
And I still hear her voice every night of my life.
Oh.
It hasn't gotten no easier. And I don't think it ever will.
Life won't get any easier for Carl Mosley's family either. The only thing he ever said aloud in court was that he loved them very much. Mosley still faces trial in the murder of Dorothy Johnson. The prosecutor says evidence in the Johnson case helped him convict Mosley yesterday. Both women left the SRO nightclub with Mosley, and both were killed the same way. Johnson's parents hope that trial turns out the same way, too. In Winston-Salem, Clay Johnson, WGHP Piedmont News.
Now, even though Mosley got the death sentence, it could be a while before he's executed, if at all. Death sentences are automatically appealed in North Carolina, and it's a process that often takes years. Well, maybe you're getting ready for bed about now, but thousands of people around the Piedmont tonight are just ending their workday.
Many of them are teenagers, but starting tomorrow, some working teens will have to call it a day much earlier. A new law takes effect that makes it illegal for most kids under 18 to work after 11 o'clock on school nights. Karen Rickert has more.
And that's the medium coat with that one also.
16-year-old Christy Crawford just bought her first car. That's one of the reasons she works school nights.
You have a nice evening, sir. I wanted to learn how to manage myself in a business, in a restaurant, and plus I get 2 extra credits for working during school.
3/4 of the workers here are teens, and the new law will affect them from time to time. This fast food restaurant is supposed to close at 10 o'clock, but the owner says there's any number of reasons why the workers may have to stay later.
In this type of business, there's so much inconsistency of you don't know when you're going to be busy. It may be late, it may be early. You may not get out of here till 11:20, 11:30, but our goal is to be out of here by 11 o'clock through the weekdays.
That's the goal the state's aiming for, and educators say it's a smart idea.
When I find out a student's working until 11:30 and midnight on school nights, I try to work with the employer on that anyway to get that solved, because that's not something we want for our students.
It's certainly not what Christy wants. She likes the new law.
We won't have to worry about our school studies and getting home so late and then doing too bad in school and everything.
You told us 13:31 and Christy will... They'll have more time to do their homework, which pays off when they go to work away from home. In High Point, Karen Rickert, WGHP Piedmont News.
Now, that new law doesn't apply to teenagers who work on farms or as models or actors, and also those who perform on radio or television or in the movies. And students can also be exempt from that new law by signing a waiver form and then having their parents and a school representative sign it too.
Now, another new law takes effect tomorrow that could affect how you drive on certain highways in North Carolina, and we'll have that story in our Piedmont News Extra in a few minutes. Well, they've been bickering publicly for weeks now, but around America tonight, members of the Bush and Clinton campaigns are bickering privately over when, where, if, and how the candidates will debate. On the campaign trail today, the president said he's gone the extra mile by proposing 4 presidential debates and 2 vice presidential debates. But Bush Press Secretary Marlin Fitzwater says Bill Clinton is jumping around, in his words, like a scalded duck on the issue. But Bill Clinton says he wants the president to stick to a schedule of debates a bipartisan commission has proposed. That includes a debate this Sunday. So far, there's no word out of Washington on what agreement, if any, the Bush and Clinton campaigns have made. Ross Perot says he might get back into the race because the other candidates aren't addressing issues like the federal deficit. We may know Perot's decision tomorrow, but today this bipartisan group of politicians took on the deficit issue with a new plan for getting rid of it. It includes reducing federal spending by 8%, increasing taxes 3%, plus every dollar in taxes equals $2.75 in spending cuts. The plan would also eliminate the tax on personal income that goes into savings.
It is not a sales tax and not a VAT. It merely says that we are not going to tax savings.
Now, this plan does have its downside with a cap on many entitlement programs, and unlike the 5-year plans Bush and Clinton are proposing, this one would take 10 years to cut the deficit in half.
Summer's over, but the wildfire season in California isn't. Tonight, some 16,000 acres of woodlands in the El Dorado National Forest are on fire. At least 40 buildings have been destroyed. Firefighters had to close parts of Highway 50, which is the main link between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe. Fire bosses say it could be days before they get that blaze contained or under control. Around the world tonight, a South African commission says both sides are to blame for a massacre of demonstrators earlier this month. That massacre left 28 people dead, another 200 wounded, after soldiers from the black township of Siskiyou opened fire on an African National Congress demonstration. The commission says the bloodbath was, in their words, legally and morally indefensible. But the report didn't let the ANC off the hook either. The commission says ANC leaders shouldn't have exposed people to the dangers they knew about in Siskiyou.
Checking up now on a story we brought you during our 5 and 6 o'clock newscast today. Lexington's new police chief is used to breaking down racial barriers, and today he became part of the process again. 36 years after becoming Lexington's first black police officer, Leroy Pearson was sworn in as the city's first black police chief. Pearson says as chief he plans to continue the tradition of good law enforcement set by his predecessor, Lou Powell.
What we do, make sure it's legal, ethical, and not fattening.
Well, Chief Powell retired today. He's now going to Jacksonville, Florida, where he's accepted a teaching position.
Couldn't ask for better weather than what we're having right now.
Let's see how long it's going to last. Let's go to Eric Chilton in for Van Denton in the Weather Center with your first forecast. How about it, Eric?
I tell you, the first thing we need to talk about is tonight we're going to get down to 38 degrees. It's going to be a cold one out there, but tomorrow we'll warm up a little bit. Here are a few temperatures. Warming up, though, only to about 67. 43 tomorrow morning. It's going to be chilly. 58 by noontime. As we said, 67 for the high. Bright sunny skies all day long. Clear skies tomorrow night and about 50. By 9 p.m. we're going to get down to the lower 40s again tomorrow night, but we have sunny skies all the way through until about Sunday. We'll talk more about it in just a minute. Let's check in now with Rich Brenner in First Sports.
Eric, make it a little bit warmer, and it's perfect golf weather. The 6th Annual Vantage Championship at Tanglewood in Clemens is underway. The first of 2 Pro-Ams went today. Pro-Am number 2 goes tomorrow. The $1.5 million Vantage competition starts Friday morning. As for the over 50 crowd, which puts on great tournaments every week, does it get extra special with each win? George Archer has won 2 GGOs and a Master, but what about these wins?
It's all about, and I don't think that thrill ever changes for you. The older you get, the more you cherish it, and it's great that they have the Seniors Tour, and you know, fellows over 50 have something to play in.
But these guys get a little bit more excited than the younger guys when they win a tournament.
And they can get excited about this weather, too. It was gorgeous out there today.
It was beautiful today, and if Eric can just warm it up just a tad, a couple more degrees, it's perfect.
Thank you, Rich. Well, The Civil War, of course, is long over, but still ahead here on the Piedmont Tonight. There could be a new battle brewing over television's civil wars. And if back taxes are driving you nuts, the IRS is trying to make friends with taxpayers who haven't been paying up. We'll show you what it's doing.
But next, something that slows us all down, highway construction. There's a new law you need to know about, and that's our Piedmont News Extra, as our coverage continues for Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Burlington, and all the Piedmont.
To get your way from football and into S&K, we know it will take remarkable values, like our everyday low price $99 suit. At S&K, you'll also find savings like these.
Now through Sunday, Pierre Cardin cotton slacks are just $19.97, and Alston 100% silk ties are football weekend sale priced at just $12.97.
S&K value. That's the reason we please over 1 million fans every year.
Shop S&K in Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and Burlington.
This weekend, the finale, the blockbuster finish of New York Carpet World's 66th anniversary. Till Saturday, get everything you need to carpet your home at half price. Yes, the carpet, the padding, the installation, all half price. Not just a few carpets, lots of top-selling choices, half price. With any carpet, you get padding and labor, both half price. And you make no payments till next year. This is it, the wrap-up of New York Carpet World's 66th anniversary. History-making half-price sale ends Saturday, so hurry.
Today's high temperature was 65 degrees. This morning's low, a chilly 44. 76 and 54 are the normals, and the record high was 89 degrees set in 1954, a record low of 37 in 1942. I'll be back in a few minutes with all the details. Stay with us.
This weekend in the Greensboro Coliseum's exhibition hall, the biggest names in entertainment come together for 3 days of peace, harmony, and low-priced electronics. It's Ed Kelly's Ed Stock 92. See the top names in home appliances, refrigerators, ranges, microwaves, washers, and dryers, all on display for 3 days only during the largest show and sale of electronics and appliances in the Southeast. Hundreds of manufacturers reps during Ed Kelly's Ed Stock 92. This weekend in the Greensboro Coliseum Exhibition Hall. Don't wait, because after this weekend, Ed Stock 92 will be history.
You know, some car leases try to lure you in with a low monthly payment. Sounds fine, until you multiply it by the number of monthly payments. Well, your Carolina Ford dealer has a better idea. $269 a month for just 24 months. That puts you in a 92 Ford Taurus, loaded with all this equipment. $269 for just 24 months. Bottom line, the Ford Taurus is a much better deal. But see your participating Carolina Ford dealer now, because this is a limited time offer.
Well, if you've ever driven from the Piedmont over to Raleigh or to Durham or to other points east, you've probably taken Interstate 85 through Burlington, and you've probably become frustrated with all the construction work that's going on.
And some delays from time to time. In fact, this past weekend, a combination of the rain and people driving too fast through that area caused a 70-car pileup that tied up traffic for hours. Well, starting tomorrow, there's a new reason to slow down when you drive through a construction zone. Keith Whitney has the story in tonight's Piedmont News Extra.
With all the construction on I-85 these days, Alamance County is fast becoming the pylon capital of the state. But Sunday, it was more like the pile-up capital. More than 70 cars collided in over a dozen wrecks on this stretch of interstate. Rain was the big reason, but add a dash of speed, some blinking lights, an Olympic slalom of barriers, and you've got a highway to headaches, no matter the weather.
It's really uncalled for. If they would get the roads finished, we wouldn't have the accidents and such that we do. And it is a big hazard area.
Julie Bays and Jane Britt make sure everybody's buckled up before they get on the interstate in Burlington. Since they visited the area, they've learned, like the locals, that this is no place for the faint of foot, as in on the gas pedal.
It's been going on for a while, and I hate coming through here, especially now since I have a little one. It does make me nervous, especially if I'm by myself.
The 8-lane expansion project here is anywhere from days to years from completion, depending on what stretch you're talking about. But the state is trying to make the work zones safer for everybody. Now, starting October 1st, the law is going to get tough on how you drive through work zones. If you get caught speeding through a place like this, you can get a $100 to $200 fine plus jail time. The Department of Transportation lobbied for the law to keep its workers safe from motorists and motorists safe from each other. Keith Whitney, WGH Piedmont News.
And there are some other laws, 35 of them taking effect tomorrow in North Carolina. That work zone traffic law we just told you about. There's also a new law aimed at protecting women from stalkers. And also one other that might have a direct effect on you. It's being called the smoker law. It prohibits companies from discriminating against someone for any activity they do, such as smoking, outside work that's unrelated to that worker's job.
Earlier in the newscast, we showed you how a group of bipartisan politicians wants to handle the deficit problem. And in Money News tonight, the Internal Revenue Service wants to help solve the problem, too. It's assigning 2,000 new agents to find the estimated 10 million people who aren't paying taxes and get them to cough up the cash. But that won't be easy, especially in the underground economies of many big cities. So now the IRS says that if you owe back taxes and voluntarily turn yourself in, you may not face criminal prosecution, but that's about the only penalty you'd escape. You'd still probably have to pay back taxes, interest, and penalties.
In Family Health News tonight, North Carolina will be getting a top-notch research center for breast cancer. At this news conference at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, medical school administrators announced they're getting one of 4 grants to tackle the problem. UNC will use that money to create a team of experts to look at all aspects of breast cancer, from treatment to a possible cure.
We are thrilled and excited by the prospect of focusing this powerful team and this powerful group of intellects on the problem of breast cancer.
And a statewide study will focus on lifestyles or environmental exposures that cause breast cancer, and also why more minority women die from that disease than white women.
Eric's back, and you mentioned we're getting down into the high 30s tonight. I read earlier tonight that there's a frost watch or warning out for the northern mountains tonight.
And for us, there's a possibility we might see some scattered frost around the Piedmont.
This is the lowest so far.
The lowest so far, that's right. And
pull the blankets out.
I turned the heat on in my apartment for the first time. That's right. We're going to stay cold, at least cool, in the nighttime all the way through until probably around Sunday or Monday. We might sneak back up as far as the lows go into the low 50s, and highs are finally going to get back into the 70s, but we got to wait till the end of the weekend for that to roll around. Our temperature right now stands at about 50 degrees. The winds for us out of the northeast at about 5 miles an hour. Humidity up there, 83%, as it normally is this time of night. The barometer's on the rise at 30.21 inches of mercury. All right, let's take a look. Here's what's going on out there. We have high pressure system that continues to dominate our weather. It's been doing so really for the past 2 or 3 days if you've been with us. Here's what's happening. This big high pressure system right here is bringing down some of that cool air out of the northeast down into our neck of the woods. That's why we're going to see lows tonight around 38 degrees. 42 tomorrow night, and it's going to hang in the 40s with us, overnight lows that is, until probably around Sunday or so. We'll reach up to about 52 for the overnight low by then. But until then, the nights are going to be cool, as will the days. Tomorrow around 67 degrees, 68 by Friday is what we expect. We'll gradually build back up into the low 70s by the weekend. Now you'll notice this disoriented type front back here looks like a warm front kind of broken up. What it is a very unorganized front, a little bit of a disturbance there, a few clouds in the nation's midsection, no rain associated with that. And of course that is moving in an easterly direction, but we think by tomorrow even it's going to dissipate and break up, and it's not going to cause any type of rainfall for us. In fact, we don't see rain in our forecast all the way through until Monday, just partly cloudy skies to start off the work week. Later on in the week, this high pressure system is going to move in place of that one, although it's going to be down in the southern position a little bit further more south than this one is, and that's what's going to warm us up a little bit. Let's take a look at the cloud cover. All the moisture streaming in out of the Gulf, but staying, if you will, to the south of North Carolina. As for us, just clear skies. None of this is going to reach us even in the form of just partly cloudy skies, and definitely not in the form of any rain. We'll see sunny skies all the way through the weekend. Here's what's going to happen. All right, we look at tonight's map. All the rainy stuff is off the coast and down to the south. Here's our the guy that controls our weather is this high pressure system. We're going to move this to tomorrow, okay? Look at it splitting up. We'll stop it. That's going to be tomorrow's map. It's going to divide up into a couple of high pressure systems. All that means is that a bigger system to clear us out and bring us sunnier skies. Back out to the west, here's that other high pressure system that's going to gradually work its way in. By Friday, spectacular weather all across the nation, especially in the south. We'll warm up a little bit as you've seen that high pressure scoot down a little bit over the coastal regions. Winds around this system are going to bring in some warmer air up into our neck of the woods, and we'll get up to around 74 probably by the end of the week. It looks like a nice one all the way around. And nice for the mountains too tonight. Look, it's going to be chilly though. Clear tonight, 33 to 38 tomorrow, 63 to 68, and clear skies all the way around. Same story on the coast, 42 to 55 tonight. Tomorrow, bright sunny skies, 67 to 72 down the southern parts of the coast. Here is our forecast, or right here in your own backyard, clear and very cold. A chance of light frost tonight. Overnight low, 38 degrees, and then tomorrow up to 67, mostly sunny and nice. Here's your planning forecast for the next 5 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Sunny skies, a few clouds on Sunday and Monday, and we'll climb back up to around 74 degrees You know, Rich said if we could get a little bit warmer for golf weather, that's golf weather to me.
I was going to say, I think that looks pretty good. I don't think they'll complain.
Lots of big events happening this weekend, too.
That's right.
Depend on some nice weather.
Yeah,
Great, Eric.
counting on it. Well, the Braves are gearing up for the playoffs.
Rich will also have action from the Vantage Golf Tournament today. The Pro-Am Sports is next, but first, your Wednesday night scoreboard. Stay with us.
Spellbound perfume from Estee Lauder. Introducing the Spellbound Body Collection. And now with any Spellbound purchase, receive this free full-size 5-ounce body cream. This exclusive offer is yours at Belk in these cities.
Signs of change are rapidly rising all over the Southeast. Avail ATMs in Georgia and Wheeling ATMs in North and South Carolina are changing